This area would be scoffed at years ago.
Pat, I feel like I'm on the islands now, man.
RE was one of the areas where the local residents objected to having a SkyTrain station here. This is lovely, isn't it?
It's very nice. It's a very, very nice Mubon. This
nice.
right here, that's spectacular.
I call these places an oasis away from the madness.
And there it goes right there.
In, say, 20 years' time, Bangkok's going to be a different place, I think.
See, this is what's happening to Bangkok, guys. Like, not all of the development is bad.
I didn't have the sort of standard route to coming to Thailand, really, especially as my mother was Thai. It's a story, and this park museum tells that story.
Good morning, guys. So this is a video I've been looking forward to make for a while now, and that's because it's co-hosted by my colleague, Pat. Now, for those of you that know, you know, but for those of you that don't know, Pat is probably one of the most knowledgeable people on earth, I would go as far to say, about this lovely city of Bangkok right behind me here. He has his own YouTube channel fully dedicated to the history of this city, the layout of this city, different areas of this city, how it's evolved over time. Very few people pull the layers back like he does, and very few people on earth have as deep of an understanding about Bangkok as he does. And about a month ago, I posed the question to him, you know, Pat, outside of like some of the major kind of tourist and expat hubs that everybody already knows about, what do you think are three high quality areas for like real long-term life in Bangkok? And so today we're going to find out. He's lined up 3 areas. He's given it some good thought. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to hit pavement here and see Bangkok through his eyes. So with that said, let's get into it.
I get asked a lot about ideal places to live. And one of the most common questions I get asked is, I would like to live in an area where there were less foreigners. And it's very local, but it's also convenient for transportation, shopping, and a few Western comforts. So whenever I'm out and about, I keep an eye out for stuff. And the 3 places I had in mind for this video, I think really fit that well. RE, Minburi, Tao Poon. I think these are places that should be familiar to most people who would have researched coming to live here. RE, where we are now, of course, is a place that has always been associated with, how can I describe it? I think a quality place to live. A lot of people know that if they've been in Bangkok a while. So I think this is a great place to start.
Yeah, awesome. And RE is known for being kind of a trendier area from what I understand. And I mean, you know better than I do, but a lot of, you know, young Thai professionals.
It is, it's gone through waves of being trendy and a place to hang out. And you'll see that reflected in the type of restaurants and places to eat and hang out and have coffee around here. It's just, you're thinking man's place to live, I think, if you're looking at it from the point of view of, you know, you're an expat who wants to live somewhere that isn't like, say, Overlook or Udom Suk, where you get, you know, crowds of foreigners living in cut-price apartments. That's just one example. But yeah, RE, where we're going to have a look around today, is more your thinking person's neighbourhood. We are north of the centre, not quite at the suburbs. I think people would be familiar with the weekend market, Chatuchak. That's a couple of stops up the road. Victory Monument is nearby. RE is well known for having a few government offices and also for having one of the most expensive real estate prices in Bangkok. You've got some really high-end apartment buildings. You've got these huge houses in fenced-off sort of gardens. RE is quite a small sort of neighbourhood in terms of what's around the SkyTrain station, but RE still stretches up to the next BTS station, Sapan Kwai. If you look at the SkyTrain map, there's actually a station written down in between, and it's called the Future Station. It's called Senaruam. So that's why there's a long distance between RE and Sapan Kwai station. They plan to build one in between, and the area where they're going to build the station is actually a very nice neighbourhood that connects to RE as well. There's loads of future stuff happening transportation-wise in Bangkok that I like to keep in touch with and document, because in, say, 20 years' time, Bangkok's going to be a different place, I think, with all the transportation, the neighbourhoods getting built up around future lines. It's going to change the way people live and work. And with a new generation of people who will be more sort of worldly wise, we like to think, Bangkok will be a changed city, I think.
So we've crossed the street here.
There's a place in here that I come to eat sometimes, probably 2-3 times a month, and it's called Semolina. It's a little Italian style place.
Yeah, it looks pretty solid.
This whole courtyard it's busier at lunchtime. There's a few office buildings on this part of RE and banks, and these places get full up.
I love how Bangkok does these little community centers. There's so many of them. There's probably hundreds of places like this scattered all over this city, and Bangkok just does them well. Certain cities, you know, do things better than others, and I find Bangkok is really strong at creating these little courtyard spaces, you know, with the nature, the vines coming down. You know, it's we're in hot season right now, so they got the fans with the water.
Oh yeah,
coming out in full force. It's just a nice feature of the neighborhood to have an option, you know, pop into a place like this at lunch.
There's a mix of different food as well in RE, which kind of reflects the kind of people who live around here. There's Korean, there's Japanese, there's Vietnamese, there's Italian, there's fish and chips around here, there's trendy, there's jazzy, there's everything. RE is such a genuinely cosmopolitan sort of neighbourhood, not just using that as a buzzword. It really is.
What was it that brought you to Thailand originally? Like, I mean, you were explaining to me off camera, so I know, but I think these guys might find it of interest.
I didn't have the sort of standard route to coming to Thailand, really, especially as my mother was Thai. But as kids, she died, so we didn't have a fully Thai upbringing. And after she died, we were pretty much just kids growing up in London. And it wasn't until I was older that I realised that I did identify with another culture. When I got to about 18, 19, I thought, hang on, you know, so I've also got another sort of heritage I should look into. So it all started really, I took this job in a Thai restaurant, and the customers there, it was really busy. They were all coming back from Thailand or just about to go to Thailand. They would talk to me and tell me all about it. And for about a year, I felt I had to sort of conform, and so I pretended for a year that I knew what they were talking about. And that was when I thought, I've got to go. I can't keep this up any longer. No one's caught me out yet, but someone will. So then I did my first trip to Thailand when I was 25. Yeah, and I loved it. And the people I met, locals and friends I'd made and stuff, it was just such a, I thought, an ideal introduction to to traveling abroad, because it was also my first time abroad.
And then you haven't been here ever since though, right? Like you did a stint in Bangkok when you were 25 through to when?
2002 to 2009.
So 25 through 32?
Yeah.
Ish?
Yeah.
And then you went back to the UK?
I went back to England for 6 years. And in those 6 years, and I think this really sort of shaped my coming back here, because it would have been different if I'd have gone back to London for 6 years, but I didn't. I went to a place called Cornwall, and it was quiet, it was laid back, gave me a chance to sort of sit back and take stock and improve myself. And then I came back and I was more prepared. I was in a better frame of mind. So my first stint living here was totally different to what I'm doing now. I was a DJ in those days. I was very much doing the party lifestyle and ducking and diving, you know, making bits of money here and there with DJing and teaching, and I did a few other things as well. And it was very much the kind of lifestyle, you know, I craved to be doing when I was in my early 20s, because I used to watch all these Hong Kong films and see guys traveling to places like this and just living that kind of unconnected lifestyle where you had no sort of, where you had no responsibilities and you're just going with the flow. But that had to come to an end in 2009. I think I reached the end of that kind of a lifestyle, and that's when I took a break.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you moved back here 2017?
Yeah, 2017. I was still kind of back and forward to England because I was still unsure about exactly what I was going to do living here this time. But I'd done a few trips in between when I was back in England. And the great thing was, I think Bangkok never changed. For me, the Bangkok I liked, it never kind of went away. So that's why I made the decision, you know, I might as well just stay. It wasn't a big sort of life-changing decision. I didn't sit down and debate for days on end. I just said, right, let's do it. Yeah, Bangkok can be tough as well on the newcomer, because it's also a very hectic assault on the senses. And if you're new and you've followed what you've read online and taken advice, and you're in, say, On Nut for the first month, or you're in Ceylon, or you're in Nana, and you've got this plan to eventually get a long-term contract somewhere else, or even buy a condo, whatever, and your initial explorations are going to be to places that you feel safe in, that you know. So it takes a while to get out of your comfort zone. I mean, a lot of the people I do tours for, I'd say about half of them are only in Bangkok for a few days. And if you just arrive here and you're staying in a hotel in Sukhumvit, you're not going to start walking down the side roads and looking at, you know, the local life, because you don't feel you've got the time. But I think there's so much that Bangkok has to offer in terms of a very livable, walkable, hospitable city away from the tourist traps. You know, there's so much to see.
So, you know, circling back to RE as a neighborhood here, back at that community mall where we started the video, we had mentioned that there's some side sois.
Yes.
With some real nice residential, almost compounds. And so this is one of those side sois, Soi RE3.
Yeah, it certainly is.
If you go online, there is some spectacular real estate for rent and for sale on this street and streets just like this all over RA. So if you're somebody that wants a house, like you don't want to do the condo living, you know, perhaps you got a bigger budget and you got a family, you're moving with kids, whatever it may be. I mean, these sois, these side sois in this part of the city, you know, if I was you, I'd be considering areas just like this.
And that's just one street.
It's one of many. You know, there's a fair amount of new developments, just like what we see here. Pretty expensive, 75 million Thai baht. So it is a high-end area, no doubt, but it's a good area.
In fact, when they were building the SkyTrain, the residents of Ari didn't want the SkyTrain near their neighbourhood because they felt it would bring the area, lower the property prices.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's strange to think that, and I think it's done the opposite because they very much, because Ari was about in the suburbs, you know, 25 years ago. It was the edge of Bangkok. Morchit was like the limit of how far people would go. The SkyTrain ended there, but Ari was one of the areas where the local residents objected to having a SkyTrain station here. But it's worked out well, I think. Tuk-tuks, because a lot of people have this idea of tuk-tuks being rip-offs, or they want to charge you as much as possible, whereas here you get a bunch of tuk-tuks at the BTS station. They're what you call normal tuk-tuks, where they will just quote you a normal price, the Thai price, to go somewhere local. And I don't read online a lot of experiences with those kind of tuk-tuks, but they're everywhere around Bangkok. It's just that people who stick to places where there's a lot of foreigners, there's going to be a lot of tuk-tuks who want to charge you the maximum fee that they can get from you. But yeah, just a small thing though.
Yeah, it's funny, the bulk of the tuk-tuks in this city, you know, particularly once you get outside of the Sukhumvit area, they're not there for tourists. They're there for a lot of, like, you know what, Pat, I see a lot of Thai people that are selling food. Use them with all the bags of vegetables and kind of the old Thai grandmas in the back. Yeah. And let me tell you, she ain't paying 400 baht, okay?
She ain't going to the gold shop.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. All right, so it was a little bit loud on the boats there, Pat. But where are we off to now? Minburi?
Yeah, Minburi, Kapi, sort of in between.
Cool.
It's a outer suburban area with a real sort of up-and-coming feel to it, because these areas are getting connected now with MRT lines, SkyTrain lines. And this area in particular is already seeing a bit of a boom in condo building. And I wouldn't say nouveau middle class, but there are a lot of young professional Thais moving into new condos in areas like this. And it definitely has got a lot going for it. I've been familiar with this area for 20, 25 years, and I've always found it a pleasant local vibe. It's got like a real local sort of feel to it. And one of the downsides for many years was that it was only accessible via the canal. So if you were coming from Sukhumvit, you had to get a canal boat up here. But now it's on the yellow line. It's going to be on the orange line. And a lot of new buildings going up, and where we're going we'll see a lot of green space, a lot of pleasant housing complexes, mubans they call them, and all these kind of places are perfect if you have got that extra bit of budget to play with. You want a better quality of life, near green space, peace and quiet, golf courses. So if you take the time to seek out these outer suburban neighbourhoods, I think it'll be more rewarding, particularly if you've got family and kids. You know, you don't want to be living right in the midst of, you know, Sukhumvit, even Ekamai or Ceylon or places like that. You want to get to a place that's accessible to, you know, green space. There's loads of international schools around here, and it's already well connected on the MRT yellow, MRT orange soon. You've got lovely canal boat rides up and down here. There's a floating market. You can go right to the end to Minburi, have a look around. And the airport is very easily accessible as well. So if you're a professional person who's traveling a lot as well, this appeals because you are in Bangkok, but you're still away from it, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it's true. It's true. And by the way, Pat does really awesome walking tours. If you're thinking of moving over here and you're on a scouting mission and you want to get a read on some different areas, like I said at the opening of this video, this guy knows the city really, really well. And yeah, so I mean, if that's something you're interested in, I'll leave a QR code on the screen right above Pat's face right here. So just scan that, get in touch with him for his walking tours. He does a great job. And with that said, I guess we got to hop on the boat here soon. So the electric boat, I've never been on one of these.
These are great, but they're quite chilled out. Or should say slow, but they're cute.
And these are free.
I'm not sure, they used to be free. They haven't come round for any money yet, so it may well be. That was about a year ago I last went on it, and it was free. It wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't, but it might be. But yeah, they've got loads of new piers, and it goes all the way to Minburi. And you've got to jump boats halfway there because there's a lock that they can't get over. I recommend it for a lazy afternoon on the canal, and there's a couple of nice places to stop as well.
You know, I've always thought, what would Bangkok be like if it was a city of electric vehicles? You know, like if it was all electric cars, all electric bikes, all electric boats. Now I get there's people out there that don't like the idea of a 100% EV world, and that's fine. That's not what I'm referring to here. But like, what would it do for the city and the pollution and even just the sound? Like Bangkok is so loud.
I know, yeah.
You know, I've often thought, like, would this city, how would it change if you know, everything was electric? I wonder.
People would still be trying to make noise, I think. Because people they soup up their bikes and exhaust, don't they, to make them sound louder than the other. But one day.
All right, finally made it. So we're up in Minburi right now. And like we were alluding to back at the pier there where we had to transfer boats, you know, this does feel like it might be a nice area for somebody to consider if you're looking for something more low key, or perhaps, you know, you have, you know, kids, young family, and you know, maybe you and your wife or you and your partner or whatever work remotely. This is a cool area, easy access point to the airport. And look at this. Pat, I feel like I'm on the islands now, man, with
It's a lovely park.
Gorgeous park.
It is. Don't let this peace and quiet fool you, because after 5 p.m. all the joggers come and the music starts for the aerobics. But I know this is what I say in my videos. I call these places an oasis away from the madness, because it's green space, but we're not in the middle of the city, of course. And this park, Seri Thai Park, some of you historians like me might know what Seri Thai was. It was the anti-Japanese movement, started by the pre-CIA in the States. They trained Thai students studying in America to basically parachute into Thailand during World War II and fight the Japanese. And Jim Thompson was part of the OSS, Office of Strategic Services, precursor to the CIA. So he parachuted in, by which time the war was over. And anyway, this park is named after that movement and has a museum talking about it. People say the Japanese occupation of Bangkok, parts of Thailand during World War II, is a sensitive topic. I think it's only sensitive if you start putting your own views into it and what you think or what you didn't like. But it's a story, and this park museum tells that story. So it's an oasis of history as well. And of course I love history, and my viewers love history.
And you were showing me on your map, I guess to preface, Pat has a really interesting like layered map on his phone, and it shows all current and future public transportation lines here in Bangkok. And you were showing me where we got off, or I guess it wasn't where we got off, it was at that pier that's not too far from here. And there's going to be an intersection of 3 different lines, right?
Yeah, the orange line, which is finished and ready to go, but they haven't ordered the trains yet. That goes along Ramkhamhaeng. The yellow line, which is running, the monorail, and then the future brown line. So that's why I think areas like this with future transportation hubs attract a lot of people, because Bangkok's expanding outwards quick, especially with the lines being built. You know, places get lucrative very quickly now with the expansion of the lines. Condos get built, infrastructure gets built, and people move there.
All right, in the Muban here, Pat.
This is lovely, isn't it?
It's very nice. It's a very, very nice Muban. But the thing is here, guys, these Mubans are kind of like protected or gated communities. There's hundreds of them all over Thailand, probably thousands if I'm being honest. And it just represents nice, I would say pretty Western style suburban living. As you can see here, the roads are wide. There's a gorgeous golf course right here. So it kind of reminds me of like Florida, suburban Florida, golf course living, a bit like the outskirts of Orlando kind of thing.
I know a lot of guys who come here for the golf. I think living in a place like this, it's good to have a car or a driver. Houses, as we've seen, have been, huge. A lot of the ones on this particular development. But I think it's a good idea of what people can expect if they're looking for the higher end suburban kind of lifestyle. This is a good example of that.
That's it. Like, there's all sorts of lifestyles available to you here in Bangkok. And the one that a lot of people know about before coming over here is the urban life, the city life. And that's great. That's, what I live for the time being at this point in my life. I'm 27, so that works for me right now. But I can tell you, it's not going to work forever for me. And so the prospect that really nice neighborhoods, just like what we're walking in right now, exist, and you're still only 35, 40 minutes from the city proper, that's appealing. That's nice. Like, as I get older, I start to understand, why people like the suburban option. When I was younger and I first kind of was in high school, university, I wanted to get out of the suburbs, back in Canada. Yeah. But as I enter closer to 30 and I start to think about things like, potentially having a family one day and, just continuous development in my own life, there's no way I want to be in center of Bangkok forever, like that's a relentless city. It's a great city, but it wears on you and it eats on you after a while.
Even like you said, taking a bike up to the big C or whatever to get groceries, it's, you're going through traffic, noise, people crossing your path. It's not a straightforward thing, and that can wear on you, and it does wear on people, and then they want to get further out.
Yeah, most definitely. There's great options for life here in Bangkok, and that's what this video is all about. So with that said though, Pat, where are we off to next? Kapi?
Yeah, I thought we are, well, this is Minburi, this area now, where we took the boat. The main hub, the place where you'd go shopping and see a movie around here, is Kapi. That area is another place that's up and coming in terms of development, transportation hub, and infrastructure and improvements as well. It's been massively improved in, like, for walking around, getting across the road, traffic solutions. There's a monorail, of course, which is, you're well connected to, you know, you can get to Sukhumvit Road from there in 40 minutes, you know, or the boat if you're into that thing. This area is really sort of building to become its own sort of mini metropolis, I think.
Right.
Because it's so much more accessible now than it used to be. You got the canal boat, you now got the yellow line, and even coming up here for the day, I used to come here to watch films and get out of Bangkok. I used to take the canal boat, and it was just refreshing to come to a neighborhood where you didn't see like the typical foreign faces around, you know, downtown Bangkok.
Yeah.
And you got a feel of what local life would be like living in the suburbs. And I think this area is a prime example of that.
Well, they've done a great job with it. I mean, this new, let me show you guys here. Like this new BTS yellow line, or no, it's the MRT yellow line.
MRT.
Yeah, excuse me, the MRT yellow line there. Like, what a fantastic addition to Bangkok. And they're building these all over the city. And then on top of that, they've done a great job with these skywalks here. So this skywalk, like Pat and I walked all the way down there, all the way over there. And this yellow line connects through to Samrong BTS station, which is on the Sukhumvit Green Line, correct?
Yeah.
Got it. And there it goes right there. So we're underneath it. But that's how that MRT monorail works. And it's really neat.
It goes to places that were, I wouldn't say inaccessible before, but it's just that Ladpra Road and Sinakarin Road were notorious for traffic. But now, you know, locals can get this 2 or 3 stops, you know, takes them 5 minutes. Whereas before they might have to negotiate a bike or walk or get a taxi. So that solved a lot of problems for people to get around. It's more of a local line than somewhere, you know, to go into the centre of Bangkok, because it connects to the main lines, which is great. And there's more lines like that being built, you know, like the pink line. The orange line is here as well, but it's not got any trains running yet.
And what's neat too is this canal. I mean, you can't see my frame right now, Pat, but guys, you can see the city skyline right there. Like, that is one of the many cores of Bangkok. I mean, Bangkok is a polycentric city. There's a few different cores of it. Of course, there's the Sukhumvit corridor, there's Silom, there's Asok. There goes another train right down there.
It's rush hour, so there'll be a few more.
Yeah. But down there, right behind Pat and I, that is, I mean, that's probably where Prakanong and Ekamai starts, right? And so that's where I live. So you can kind of get a gauge on the distance where we are relative to one of a few different cores. It's pretty interesting. And like I'm saying, they've just done a fantastic job building these walkways. Like one thing you were saying, Pat, off camera, when we were on our way here, is the sidewalks here used to be hell, right?
Yeah, it was just awkward dodging people walking in the road when there's too many people coming towards you. But this network of skywalks they've built, I mean, it's huge, and it has solved that problem. And now you can just get from Lamsali intersection here, walk round to the mall in 5 minutes, and also they're going to connect them into a couple of condos that are being built. And that's another thing. I mean, there's a lot of condos coming up around this area, and it's typical of a growing suburban hub, I suppose you can call it. So that's what makes this particular area, I think, attractive for anyone wanting a bit of suburban life and having a quality life.
Yeah.
This area would be, you know, scoffed at years ago. You think, I'm not living out here, but now, if you come here and just take a look around, it actually seems quite attractive.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And it's local.
Yeah.
People always say they want to live local.
Pat, that's a funky building over there, man.
I like that. I wonder if it's for rent.
I wonder.
It's got solar panels.
I wonder. So Tao Poon, we're here, we're by the river. How did you discover this neighborhood? When did you discover this neighborhood? And what is it that is appealing to you?
I discovered it about 3 years ago, and I was just wondering what this place was like, because I'd seen it from the train, and then I'd seen the condos, and I kept seeing it popping up in property listings as like a new place. So I thought I'd have a walk up and down, and I was pleasantly surprised because there was a lot less traffic than I thought, a lot less noise, and a lot more sort of places than I expected that would cater to the Westerner moving into a local neighborhood.
What I do like about, you know, these parts of the city is that the sidewalks are just so much less congested. I mean, try going for a morning run on Sukhumvit.
It's not possible, is it? No. And I've seen people try and do it, and it must be frustrating. But, you know, there's 2 parks nearby in Sukhumvit. So here, I suppose if you're going to go jogging and you want to look for a place to, you'd probably go down to Chatuchak Park.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous park. And in that complex, there's 3, right? There's Chatuchak. What are the other 2? Queen Sirikit
And the railway park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Or the Metro Park, or the Rotvai Park. It's got 3 or 4 different names they use. But yeah, it's 3 really nice parks.
Yeah, and I don't know what rent would be up here, but there are these newer buildings, probably very small units, to be fair.
Smaller units from about 11, 12,000 a month. If you wanted a bigger unit, 1 bedroom, at least 17 upwards. So, and that was pretty much covering all of the condos. 1 or 2 of them a little bit more. They were more sort of quality developers. But yeah, the small rooms here for the cheapest rents would be probably 26 to 30 square meters.
Yeah, I like it up here, man. It's peaceful. Peaceful as far as Bangkok goes.
Yeah, relatively.
You know?
Although once you get past Gateway, for some reason there's a couple of condo buildings and the rent prices suddenly get higher.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, A, because you're closer to the river, but then B, it also does feel a bit nicer down here with this mall, kind of community garden area.
And there's a hospital, well-known hospital here as well.
All right, we're getting close now. We're getting close to the river now. That building back there, that Modi's, I think, that looks quite nice, actually.
It does. That's what I was saying earlier. The rent sort of jumps up a little bit from that building, and then there's another building on the right, which is a 333 Riverside. Here.
Oh yeah.
That's
That one looks gorgeous. That one looks nice. Look at those balconies.
yeah, they are
Overlooking the
Riverside.
Chao Phraya River. God, I could totally live up here, man.
And then you've got a skywalk that takes you right down to the pier.
And then I guess, like, let's say you wanted to get into like where Icon Siam is, right?
Yeah.
How long is that riverboat ride from here? Like, I guess how far up the river are we?
30 minutes.
Half hour?
Yeah,
Cool.
maybe 25, depending on which boat actually. And if
Got
you
it.
get the fast orange flag, might be 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
I mean, that building is gorgeous, man. 353 Riverside.
Yeah, that's
This
nice.
right here, that's spectacular. Wow. I can't even imagine the view you'd get on one of these, with any of these balconies.
I know Jeroen showed a unit up there.
Oh, Jerome did?
Yeah, 2 units actually. One was low, one was higher. And I check the rents on these even, and it's 25 to 30 upwards, cheapest. That would be for one. It would be for one small. Well, I'd say small room. In places like this, the single studios, as they call them, are actually would be over 30 square meters, whereas the cheaper condos that have the smallest places would be basically as small as they can make them. Sometimes only 24 square meters, and they really do sort of live up to the concrete box sort of stereotype. But these better class buildings, the smallest units are often a lot bigger than the average.
And you can tell we're by the river because it's still hot. This is Bangkok, but it's a little
breezy.
bit cooler. It's
Yeah,
breezy.
yeah.
And so where do we go to get to this
The
river?
pier, yeah.
Just down here?
This is one of those new smart piers where they've got a member of staff. And now the guy will always ask you where you want to go, and he'll tell you to sit down and wait. And it's actually, wait, he's caught. He says there's a boat coming. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. See what I mean? He just saw me and shouted, "There's a boat coming."
These new smart piers. Hey, look at this, man.
Oh, that's the new government building, and that's the new bridge across the river. Yeah.
What a great area, Pat. Honestly, man, this might be the number one choice that we've gone to today.
Yeah.
I really like Tao Poon.
Yeah.
I'm loving the vibe. Oh yeah, and that government building right there.
So that bridge, I can't remember what they're going to call it, but they're creating a new road, obviously, to go across it. Since there.
Well, this is convenient with this MRT right here, connecting to one of these kind of smart piers, like what Pat was saying. See, this is what's happening to Bangkok, guys. Like, not all of the development is bad. People complain, you know, Thailand's changing, Bangkok's changing. Yeah, and I get that that's not ideal in some cases, but when it comes to changes like this, I mean, this is spectacular. Infrastructure.
It's improving a lot.
It makes a world of difference.
Yeah. I think people who moan about things changing too much are only talking about specific parts of their own lives that are getting more expensive, that I think inevitably would get expensive. Like a lot of English guys moan about, you know, the price of tea bags has gone up. You know, imported tea bags from England are now, you know, $2.99 instead of $2.85, and how they'll never buy them again. And you get other people moaning about the price of beer in nightlife places, or little, you know, 2 and 3 baht increases on milk in the last year or couple of years. And then you see posts on social media saying, oh, Bangkok's getting really expensive. But I think pound for pound, it's not really that much.
Yeah.
It's not really.
Yeah, this city offers tremendous value.
Yeah, I think overall,
Yeah.
it's definitely good value and will be for years to come. Bangkok's moving outwards as well. I mean, I think even 10 years ago, before the MRT blue and purple lines came to this area, you wouldn't probably think twice. You wouldn't think in a million years that you'd consider living in a place like this, because it just wasn't accessible, or this far up the river.
And now it is. It's amazing. Well, Pat, thanks for the tour today, man. I really appreciate it. This has been a great overview of the 3 neighborhoods we covered. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I sure did. I had an awesome day with you. Thanks for doing this. It's not easy, you know, coming out in the heat and making these videos, so much appreciated. I'll leave a link to Pat's channel below if you're at all interested in the history of Bangkok and the geography and the layout of Bangkok and, you know, really interesting parts of this city. This guy's channel is the best one in the world to learn more about that. So I'll leave the link below. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Cheers, Adam.
Yeah.